Daniel, I'm going to use the activation oracle for you. It is from the sacred geometry. First position, expression, universal love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Universal love is another word for unconditional love. Universal love is about love of everything, regardless of what they are. As long as there is an existence that you know it is in existence, and you really love this thing no matter what you know about it or doesn't know anything about it, it won't matter, because your love of it is consistent, stable, unyielding, and that is the purest form of universal love. I want me to use an analogy about God, how God has universal love for all human beings. I'm not religious. I'm not here to try to promote religion to anybody, but just an example, right? How God has universal love of everyone, regardless of what you've been through, what you did in this lifetime. It doesn't matter how people see you as being so bad, even criminals. God still loves that every single human being on earth. So that is the universal love, okay? Regardless of what that is, right? So I hope you see the point here about universal love. And the expression part of it is it's lacking that universal love, and that's how you express yourself from the inside. Why does it happen? Because of too much influences in this society. It's too much inheritance based on who you associate with since the day you're born. Well, it's not anybody's fault, but they just don't realize they don't have this universal love in them. So therefore, it's not the purest kind of love that they've been passing on to you. So therefore, it's become an inheritance of broken love. I'm going to use the term broken love because it's missing the purest form of love. So it becomes so conditional. And that's how the expression of love that you have in your inner world. Is there any more I need to elaborate for, Daniel? I'm going to the second one. Challenge. Tantric journey. The frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our central experiences with ourselves and with another. Let me go deeper into the guidebook about this. Expansion of consciousness. That is the challenge part about this. Why is that is challenging for you? Because of the influences, because of the it's called your spirit, your guardian want me to use the term manipulation. It's also part of the influences. It kinda change your mindset, change the way how you perceive life as you go about it. A lot of things can happen, right? The way how the society work with technology, with education, with the monetary system, how you need what do you need to do in order to survive. That already fundamentally manipulate you or influence you in some way how you should behave, and your consciousness is so automatically accept that, right? Because you're under this environmental influence or this environmental manipulation. And that's where the challenge is, too hard to expand your consciousness because you're already trapped in this so-called three-dimensional matrix. Short terminology, 3D matrix. Where does that come from? It's come from human creation. As I mentioned about the monetary system created by humans. You don't use this to exchange, you don't get goods or you don't get service, right? Unless somebody provide for free or something, to exchange for free stuff. So you see how that framework already molds you into this kind of perception. But what is about the outside of it? If you no longer live in this 3D matrix, does your perception change? My answer to you is yes, you can, because you're adapting to a new environment. But what if there is no environment? Can you have the purest form of perception? I will have to say yes, you can. So when you're not being contaminated by anything, you have your own soul blueprint to guide you. But however, it's because you're born under this 3D matrix, unfortunately, it triggers you to respond to that control environment. And I'm going to put the word control environment. I can understand why your spiritual guide want me to use the term manipulation. Control, manipulation, it's really the same thing. So you have to back it out. All of those, influences, all those manipulation, all those control, you have to discern them. Do not try to judge them. If you judge them, so guess what? You're being controlled by your own emotion, by your own experience. It's hard to get out. It's hard to expand your consciousness. So you have to back it out a little bit at a time. Increase your self-awareness to do it. So there is a challenge, right? To gain self-awareness. So whatever happened to you in the life event, you're going to get triggered. You have to have awareness about those triggers. You have to have awareness of what's going on in your inner world. Why do you react the way you do? So it want me to move on to the next card, but that's enough said about the challenges and also some guidance for you to understand about how to deal with those challenges, right? Let me able to. The last card is about action, right? It's about change as well. The synergy. The frequency of synergy support allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combination and union that result in a new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creation can give birth to new reality. Now the key word is embrace co-creation. So that way you have this synergy. You are not just existing here alone. There is this huge universe. There's so much out there than you can meet in your eyes. Sure, you're stuck in this 3D matrix, but outside of that, there is this vast energy. And I know your spiritual guardian come from very high dimensional level that is not in this world. So it is nowhere but everywhere. That's why you can always speak to your spiritual guardian, even though you might not hear it or sense it in any way. But it is there, it's able to pick that up if you really want to talk to your spiritual guardian. Please do so with the most light and loving way, with kindness and respect. Many people talk to spiritual guardians because they have desire. They want their miracle. They want their wish come true. Spiritual guardian is not a wishing well, but they are here to guide you to your light path, to guide you to soul healing, okay? So they're here to serve your greatest good. But I just want to throw that out there for you. So it is about you that you should embrace this co-creation with your spiritual guardian. Is there any more I need to talk about with Daniel? So I'm glad to end this first quarter moon reading, and I'm going to go to the next reading for you. Let me put this card away. This is the King of, I think it's the King of Swords. Let me double check the figures to be sure. I usually put my deck in order so I don't miss the sequence C. Is this sword? Or is this one? I might have switched the suite. So it is the one. I need to fix that. Let me go to the guidebook to see how this author apply his life experience, since it's out of the traditional. Vision, honor. That's generally what it is about. But the reversal, I want me to read. Want to be sure, double checking the suite. So it is right. Okay. So let's talk about doubt here. This card reversal. Looking at this bird holding on this little cup, and I'm seeing the beak of the mouth. It's like holding to some sort of a thread, maybe from the cops or something. Maybe some long fiber that it picked up. Maybe it's trying to do something, right? To try to get some, maybe the seed or the fruit inside of this plant. So it's like abundance. It's one to try to get, but using a long fiber to try to get it out. But there is some uncertainty about how to get this fruition, this abundance, this crops that try to perhaps try to harvest. But the birds only have two legs, and it's trying to use the mouth to do whatever it needs to do. So it's quite challenging. But the doubt is that this long fiber is going to help it to get what it needs to get that fruit out of the plant. So this is a symbolism about your life here, and that's what this doubt is about. It's this uncertainty of wherever you're doing, does it even get to the goal? Perhaps it did, but does it feel like a soul fulfillment to you? It's probably, I'm getting no. Maybe sometimes you think it is, but sometimes it's really not, because I feel like perhaps you've initially thought it was soul fulfillment, but later on in life, what does this achievement helping you? I think that's where this doubt is, because there is a sense of emptiness I'm picking up. If you're sensing emptiness because you are achieving something that doesn't give you lasting happiness, it's just a moment of joy, because there is a underlying concern about your self-love hasn't been ignited to the point of it's coming from this pure love. There is like an underline of conditioning the way how you achieve, that you thought this achievement is so fulfilling, but in reality it's only create more emptiness for you. So is it really the external thing that matter, or is this more like your internal world that needs mending? I think this is a fine line for you to discern. If you think about just changing your environment, it's going to fix your inner world, it never is going to work, because everything is external. They don't go inside your inner world. They can never intrude your inner world. Only you, the one who allow it to intrude in an emotional sense to cause the harm in your psyche. I hope this makes sense to you, Daniel, because no matter amount of change on your outside is going to fix your inside. Your guardian is trying to tell you that you have to let go of all those conditioning. You have to let go of your external self in order to go in you to release those negativity that you've been holding on to. It is called attachment. You have to have the self-awareness in order to release those attachments, in order to find what its pure love is, to find what its unconditional love is, in order to understand what is authentic to you, in order to ignite this unconditional love, in order to expand your self-love without the conditioning, without the outside help. So I hope that makes sense, because I can give you some example, like people will go to have what do you call a massage place to make their body feel good. So they think that it is called self-love through self-care, but that only make your body feel good. That is your physical self. But what about your mind and your soul well-being? When your body feel good, sure, it affects your mind and affect your soul for a short moment. But after you're done with the massage, that's gone, right? That happy moment is gone. But you're still stuck in the same old environments, continue to trigger more of the same old thing, because you're still going to react to stress. You're going to still react to fear. Where are those reactions coming from? You might look at that, oh, it's the external world, the environment causing me this, but you flipped it around. It's really your inside practicing the fear, your inside practicing the stress that need to release. So I hope you see why your guardian wants you to go inward, to work on yourself, but not rely on the outside to make you feel good to work on yourself. So there is a huge difference between those two. And I'm going to end it here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Got the Queen of Swords here. Let me go to a guidebook. Your honesty can be too harsh for other people to accept. Maybe you're just too blunt about how you have conversation with people sometime and not realizing that it could hurt the other people feeling because they're just not having the right synergy with you at that kind of level on the mindset, the perception thing. So it's just that it needs to dial down the knot when you're having conversations, so that way you don't have to be so blunt sometime or too honest sometime. So there needs to have perhaps a reservation or perhaps not to say it, because I feel like this type of honesty perhaps it's come from being too what do you want me to use the word? Criticism? Judgment? Let me channel a little bit further to see what the intention of your spiritual guardian about this. Oh, okay. It's meaning you're too smart. Perhaps let me look at the pictures here. You are an intelligent guy, able to analyze. That's what that critics mean. It's trying to say critics. Like, you know, critics tend to evaluate a thing. They use their intellectual, their knowledge, or whatever that is, that talents they have, and you're using that to analyze. So you're like a critic. This person, you like instantly know that, you know. So yes, you are not wrong about the individual, but then the other side is like, you don't know me this well, why are you saying this, you know? Perhaps you guys are not at the same level of speak of, you know, not the right level of intellectual. So people are not as fast paced as you are when it comes to understanding the person, where you can just go through the analysis of that and come up with that, you know, conclusion about the individual. So, and that's what's going on. And perhaps people find you like, perhaps you might have low emotional, low EQ, although you have high IQ. So yeah, it wants you to slow down on that. It's okay not to analyze, overthink. Try to get to know the individual first. Perhaps that will help build up a foundation of how each other think, how each other feel, whether there is some common ground that you could build from that. You know, that will help build a good relationship with someone when you can listen to them, to their own opinion first, So listening takes some skill as well on that. And let me move on to the second card, the King of Swords here. It wants me to talk about greed here. Let me see in what way. Wanting to acquire resources. And there is excessive in excess. Not necessarily excessive, but it feels like probably you feel not enough. More is better, that type of greed. But doesn't mean you're greedy. I don't feel like you're actually a greedy person. Like, it's more like driven by perhaps you need more protection, perhaps more it's better for the future, perhaps you're still trying to anticipate the future. In that type of way that you need to acquire more than necessary instead of let the flow to come to you. I hope this makes sense, Daniel, because like your life will become driven by this need of inadequacy because of you need that protection, because you need to build that security, even though you're already secure enough. But I feel like you are secure enough, but yet you still need more of it. So it's become an obsession for you that you're holding on, needing these additional thing that you don't need it right now. And anticipation is not going to be too good when you're driving yourself, because it becomes your motivator to go about doing additional thing that you don't need because it's not a necessity. So I hope you see that your guardian's point here. So it wants you to live a simpler life. You should go back to reassess what you really need. You have to figure out what is necessity and what is luxury. If you can live a simpler life, then you can help yourself to understand what those negative emotions are causing you because of anticipation, because of inadequacy, because of protection. So I hope you see that those are all coming from fear-based living. They are not coming from love-based living. So you can help yourself to decondition them. Yes, those are fear-based living tend to come from conditioning, expectation, so forth. Knight of Swords. Allow time to think things through. For some reason, the word defeat come through me. Sometimes your goals are impossible, wherever you're trying to achieve, because you're not understanding what is serving your greatest good yet. Sometimes Not always. Your guardian wants you to elaborate on that. So don't blind yourself to complication. It is still asking you to have a simpler life, to reassess what is necessary versus what is luxury. So that way you don't keep blinding yourself on complication because you are trying to achieve the luxury. But I'm not saying you have to be super wealthy in any of that to call it luxury. But there are luxury in so many different levels, right? According to what you value. So you need to slow down. Do not just charge forward just because you think you have a sound planning, but doesn't mean it is serving your greatest good. You have to go within and ask yourself, do you need them? Why do you need them? You have to identify your motivation behind it. Motivation usually comes from a feeling like protection, could cause by a sense of fear, a sense of worry, sense of inadequacy, in that nature that drive you to do certain behavior. So it wants you to dive deeper to connect all the dots before you make that decision to act on it. So there are much soul lessons to be learned about your actions, your decision, because I feel like there are time back to your inner world. There is a underlying emotion there that you have not dealt with yet. You need to bring forward your underlying emotion in order for you to let go your negativity so you can live a healthier life. Free of the darkness, so-called. Your negative emotion is your darkness. When you free those negative emotions, you don't need to struggle anymore in your life. You can have more soul fulfillment from the inside, not from the outside. Is there any more I need to do for Daniel here? I'm glad to end it here for you. May you find light from your spiritual guardian.